Okay, so let's have a quick recap what we have discussed in the last session. In the last session, we have an introduction about Azure. In today's session, we are going to learn about how to create an Azure account. But before starting out this topic, anyone have any question, please raise your hand. Anyone have any question? No one is raising hand. Look like no one has any question. So let's move to our today's topic where we are going to start with how to create an Azure account. To create an Azure account, you can use any of your personal email address. It can be Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, any of your personal email address, you can use it. Don't use your official email IDs to create account for your practice purpose. So you can use your personal email ID to create your Azure account. Now, to create your Azure account, here I have given the link. You have to go to this particular link. Once you go to that particular link, you have to click on Start Free. Once you click on Start Free, you have to click on Create One. Once you click on Create One, here they'll ask for an email address which you want to use to create your Azure account. Then click on Next. Once you click on Next, they're asking for a password. The password which you want to set for your Azure account. The only rule you have to follow is the password must be minimum 8 characters long for this. And once you give your password, you have to click on Next. Then they will send you one OTP. They will send you one OTP. That code you have to enter here. So it can be any, I don't remember how many digit of code, whatever the code you will get, that particular code you need to enter here and then click on Next. So with the help of this, you are going to verify your email address also. The email address you are entering, that's 100% correct. Now, once you click on Next, then you have to provide some of your personal details, your country, first name. If you have a middle name, you can enter middle name, last name, email address, they'll automatically pick from the previous step. Then you have to enter your phone number. And you have to just only enter the phone number. You don't have to enter your country code, just only the phone number you need to enter there. And you have to verify your phone number. And to verify your phone number, there are two steps they have given it by using text me or call me. So whichever the way you want, you can click on that option. They will give you one OTP there. By using call also they will provide you, or by using text message also they will provide you. So once you enter that OTP, you will move to next page where you have to provide your address. So just provide your address, city, state, postal code. Postal code means PIN code, or we can also call it a zip code also. And then there are two terms and conditions. Checkbox you have to check. If you want, you can read these terms and conditions and then click on next. Now, once you click on next, you have to provide your card details, your card holder name, number, expiry date, and CVV. And once you provide your card details, they are going to deduct some $1 or 2 rupees from your account to verify your card details. And that amount which you are going to deduct, you will get a refund in 3 to 5 working days. So to create your Azure account, you are going to pay 0 rupees. You're not paying any single rupee to create your account. What you are going to pay right now, you'll get a refund for that. Usually they are saying it takes 3 to 5 days, but within 1 or 2 hours we'll get our amount, we'll get a refund. But still they are saying it to get refund in 3 to 5 working days. And once you give the card details, it takes some time to create your account. Sometime it will do it in 2 minutes, or sometime it will take 15 to 20 minutes to create your account. Once your account is ready, you can log into your account. You can click on subscriptions. Here also you will see subscriptions. So once you click on subscription, you will see you will get a subscription called free trial subscription. Now, name is not important here. If you see in my screen, the name is showing us as free trial. Name is not important. The type needs to be important. Where actually you can see the type of that subscription. Let me show you. Now I'm able to log in. Now let's go to subscriptions. Here I'm able to see my subscription. Now click on subscription name. Here I'm getting this offer. This is important. Here you will see free trial. I'm able to see pay as you because my account is older than 1 year. Here you will see pay as, sorry, here you will see free trial. So if you are getting here offer as free trial, it means you will get a credit of that amount, $200 credit you will get. So it means for first 30 days, you can use any service, you will not get any bill. And even whenever you're using any service, here you will get a notification. Oh, sorry. Here you will get a notification. They will showing you every after a few minutes, whenever you're creating any service, they will show you how much balance is left. You don't have to check it anywhere manually. You will get automatically notification from their side. Like this much of balance is left right. So this is how you can create your Azure account. Now, any question anyone have regarding this process, please let me know. Yes, you can unmute.
Hi, Angit. This is Muthu.
Hi, Muthu.
So while we create, we are giving our phone number, right? Mobile number.
Yes.
So using one mobile number, so how many accounts we can create?
One.
for free account.
Only one. Don't give the phone number which was already given in your existing Azure account. If you are giving the existing one, they will find out that you already have an existing Azure account, so you will not get that $16,000 or 6,000 rupees credit or $200 credit. You will not get. You have to give a unique phone number. You have to give a unique card details. Any existing details, they will not provide you that credit.
Including the address and everything, right? Mobile number.
Everything and everything needs to be unique.
Okay.
Any existing details, they are not going to provide you that 200 credit. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Anyone have any more question? Yes, you can unmute.
Okay, so this $200 is only for the 1 month or for the 12
Yeah,
month?
only for 30 days.
Okay.
After 30 days, you will move to 12 months free quota. For first 30 days, you have this credit. You can use any service, no bill under this credit. It doesn't mean that you exceed the credit, you will not get a bill. If you exceed this credit, then you will get a bill. But it's a good amount for practice purpose. This is sufficient. After this, you will move to 12 months free quota. Under that, you have a limitation. You can only use that free services with the link which I've shared yesterday in the yesterday session. In that one, it is mentioned these are services are coming under 12 months free. And under the 12 months, they are giving a per month quota to us. Okay.
Can I delete also? Can I delete my account also once I got finished with my training and all?
Yes, there is option you can delete your account, and it's not required. If you're not creating anything, you don't have to delete. They'll automatically delete your account if you're not using that account.
Okay. No, suppose I enabled a service and I forgot to close that. So after 1 year, they will charge to my card, correct?
Definitely. Even under that month also they can charge you if that limit is going to exceed. The free
Okay.
limit, if get exceed, they will charge you for that month also. But in Azure, there is a good thing is there is one centralized location we have where we can see everything, whatever we have created. So you just check there and you can delete.
So thank you.
Okay. Anyone have any more question? Okay. Now the next thing is marketplace. Now what is marketplace in Azure? Marketplace, let me search here. Marketplace, here I'm getting. Marketplace is a place in Azure where we can check all our Azure services. If you want to check all your Azure services, let's say like an online store we have, here I'm getting. Here you can see on left hand side, based on category wise, we can see our Azure services we can see here. Like I want to see the storage. If I click on storage, and here we have one checkbox, Azure services only. Here it starts showing all the Azure services which is related to storage we have. If I go to databases, here I'm able to see all the databases which we have it in Azure. We can click on next page. Here I'm getting some. So go to compute, related to compute, we are able to see, sir. So based on category wise under this marketplace, we can see our Azure services. This is one way to get that particular service. The other way is you can directly search that service name also. Like I want to create a storage account, so I can type here storage. You can see when I type storage, here I'm getting storage. I can type virtual Here I'm getting virtual machine. So you can get that virtual machine service from coming to marketplace also, or you can directly search that particular service name here. Depend on you how you want to go for it. Easy way is directly search that particular service rather than come to marketplace and then get that service. That's the easiest way. Directly search that particular service name here, whichever you want to work. And here on the top, it is also showing you the recently used service. Whatever the recently services you have used, they are going to show you here also. The recently services, I have opened it. I'm able to see those services here. The same way, you will also see recently used services on the top. Next is subscription. Now, just few minutes before we have seen how we can check our subscription. You have to just click on subscriptions, and here we are able to see our subscription. Every subscription, whichever they are going to assign to us, that's a unique ID we will get for that particular subscription. And we have different types of subscription we are getting. One is free trial subscription, where you will get a credit of 200 US dollars. Second is pay as you go subscription. What is this pay as you go subscription? If you are using that particular service for 10 minutes, then you have to pay for that particular service for 10 minutes. And there is one more subscription we have it called support subscription, which is not you will find in my account. That's in organization clients have it. Where what they are doing it is they are paying some amount in advance to Azure, or they have some tie up with them. They'll make their own special subscription by just making a contract with Azure. So that type of subscription is called as support subscription, which is a customized subscription they'll get from Azure side, or they can pay some amount in advance, so they'll get some discounts. Like this type of subscription also you will see in organization, because with the help of this, they can save some more money. Because in the end, client want to save their cost. How they can save? By making a contract with Azure. So that type of subscription also you will find in your Azure account in organization. And if you want to see, you can click on add. Once you go to subscription, here you will see some more subscriptions you will see here. Maybe are the disable one showing check eligibility. So those subscription also link to your Azure account. And some clients can have multiple subscription also. It is possible your client can have multiple subscriptions also. It is possible. So based on that subscription, they are going to tell you that this specific resource needs to create under that specific subscription also. And when you're trying to create when you're going to create your Azure account, this is the infrastructure which they automatically build in your account. So the top, we will get us our service called Entra ID service, or you can call it Active Directory service. So when you're trying to, these are actually resources we are going to create in Azure, like database, virtual machine, virtual network, we are going to create. But to create these things, we need this infrastructure. Now, what is these? These are called as resource group. We are going, this upper part, we are going to discuss in our upcoming sessions. Right now, to start our training, we are going to discuss about Only this part. We are only going to discuss this specific part right now to start our training. In our upcoming session, this part we are going to discuss once we come to this particular service. So to create any resource in Azure, it is mandatory to have a resource group. Under that resource group, you're going to create your resources. Now, what is resource group? What are these? This is like virtual machine, virtual network, database, anything, whatever you want to create, you have to first create a resource group. So how to create resource group? What is resource group? We'll start in few minutes. So I'll explain these things practically in upcoming session. Anyone have any question wants to ask before starting with some next topic? Because from now we are going to start learning our first service called virtual machine. Before that, anyone wants to ask any question, please let me know. Anyone have any question? Okay, so no one is raising hand, no one has any question. So let's start with the first topic called virtual machine. Now, what is virtual machine? Anyone can let me know what is virtual machine? You can raise your hand or you can drop me in the chat box, whichever you want to answer. What is virtual machine? Yes, you can unmute.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, Azure VM gives you the flexibility of virtualization without having to buy and maintain the physical hardware. So
Okay.
we can say that this virtual machine is a kind of IaaS offering. We just need to configure, update, maintain the software that runs on the VM.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
Like always come up with the feature called like scale sets and the availability sets. So I mean, for some high availability, scalability, and redundancy options. So, I mean, if we go dive into this, so there will be skill sets and availability sets also for this was virtual machines.
Correct. So those things also we are going to about availability sets we will learn in our upcoming session. Thank you, Abdul. Yes, you can unmute.
Set of files can nothing but virtual machine.
Sorry, can you please repeat again?
Set of files can nothing but virtual machine. Set of
Set of
files.
files. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Yes, you can unmute.
Yeah, virtual machine is nothing but it's a OS virtual machine, and it contains resource like memory, CPU, and a disk and other network.
Okay, correct. Anything else? Okay. Now, if I talk about in a journal, it's very simple way I'm going to tell you what is virtual machine. Is virtual machine is like a computer. Virtual machine is like a computer to us, which we can connect to that particular computer from our computer. It's a it's a computer. Under that particular computer, I can do anything, whatever I can do in my local system. Same thing I can do under that particular computer also. Like this is my laptop right now. You are able to see my screen. I have this particular laptop. I have created these folders. I have installed some softwares in my computer, same thing. I can create a one more computer in Azure service, and under that particular service, whatever I want to do it, I can do that. But that computer is not a physical computer. Like right now, the laptop which I'm using, that's a physical one for me. But that is not going to be a physical to me. So that's why it is called as virtual. We are going to create a computer that's going to be a virtually we can use by using our system. That's why a word comes virtual. So you can call it as virtual machine, or you can also call it as virtual server. Virtual server is other name we have it, but the service name in Azure called as virtual machine. And under that, you can run any type of application, whichever you want to install. You want to install some database, you want to install a web server, you want to install application server, anything, whatever you want to install in this machine, you can do that. Whatever you want to build, you want to create any application, you want to build any software, you can do anything whichever you want to do under that particular virtual machine. And here are the few operating system which is supported by the Azure. Now, from now, we are also going to discuss about some new terminologies which is used in Azure. Like right now, just I've used a terminology called operating system. It's in our daily language, we use operating system. Like which operating system I'm using? Windows. Which I'm using Linux, Mac. These are the one we are using in our daily life. But in Azure, these terminologies are different. I know that in one single day, no one can remember these terminologies. And I'm going to tell you that this is a terminology in journal, we call it. But in Azure, this is a terminology. So you have to start learning those terminologies also from today. So it will be easy for you to remember those terminologies. Yes, for first few days, I'm going to use journal terminologies. But in our upcoming session, I'm not going to use those journal terminologies. I'm only going to use the terminologies which is used in Azure. And whenever you're going for an interview, you always have to use those terminologies which is used in Azure. This show you your confidence, that how much you have a knowledge. Based on those terminologies, you will able to clear those interviews. So I need to log into my Azure account, which I already did. Now we can create a Linux virtual machine also, or we can create a Windows virtual machine also. Right now, I'm going to show you how to create a Windows virtual machine. In tomorrow's session, we are going to learn about how to create a Linux virtual machine. So first thing what we have to do it is we have to go to virtual machine. You can see it is already showing in my recently used. But might be in your account it was not showing. So you can search here virtual machine. So here I'm virtual machine. Click on create Azure virtual machine. Now, the first thing what we have to select while creating our virtual machine is subscription. You can see here, they have automatically selected our subscription because I have only one single subscription. So they have selected. If we have multiple subscription in this list of value, it will show you multiple subscription, and that particular subscription you want to select which you want to use right now. And right now we are only discuss about few options because it's not possible to teach you each and every single option in one single session. So right now we are only going to discuss about the option which are mandatory. And wherever the star mark is there, only those options are mandatory. Other than that, no option is mandatory. So the first thing is we need to select subscription, which they have by default selected. Second thing is resource. Now, to create a resource group, there are two ways. But before that, we'll discuss what is a resource group. Now, if I talk about in general way, resource group is like a folder to me. Like I have this folder called batch 385. Think about this is my resource group. Under this resource group, what I have? Right now, I have files. I have a text file, I have a PEM file, PPK, web app, HTML file, Windows installer, application. I have different files. So like this is my resource group. Under the resource group, what we are going to put is we are going to put our resources. What is resources? Azure services. All the Azure services, whichever you are going to create, we are going to create under resource. It is mandatory to have a resource group in Azure before creation of any service. And in one single resource group, you can add all Azure services. Like it's not mandatory for this specific service, you need a separate resource group. For this specific service, you need a specific resource group. In one single resource group, you can add all Azure services. Now, here's the proper definition we have. Azure group is a container that hold related resources for an Azure solution. To work on Azure, whatever the services are required, the resources are required, you can add under your resource. That's what I said few minutes before, that in Azure, we have one centralized location where we can see all our services, whichever we have created. And that's actually is called as resource. So if you create a resource group, under the resource group, you can add your services. And once you open that resource group, you will see all the services which you have created under that particular resource. It will be easy for you to check. And it's easy for you to delete those resources once you complete your practice also. Now, resources can only exist in resource group. You can't create Azure services without the resource group. And once you create the resource group, you can't rename. In one single group, you can add different types of Azure services. Means all the different types, not mandatory that for one specific type of service, you need one resource group. No, it's not like that. Whatever the type of service you want to add in your resource group, you can add. Now, one more important point. This group can have resources from many different regions. In one single resource group, if you want to create a resources from different regions, you can create. Now, what is region? Region is like a data center, is actually a data center, not like it's actually a data center. So in different data centers, which we have, the regions they have, that particular in region data centers, you can add in one single resource. Regarding this point, we are going to discuss in our upcoming session. More we will discuss. Now, to create a resource group, there are two ways. One way is I can create a resource group from here by clicking on create. By clicking on create new, I can just give a name and click on OK. They will create a resource. They will create this resource. One. Second way is I can directly go to resource groups. Here I'm able to see in the below, or you can search here resource groups. Click on create. Now here you have to first select a subscription, which by default they have did for us, and then give your resource group name. And resource group name can be any name, whatever the name you want to give, your name, my name, XYZ, name you can give. It's not mandatory to have a unique name. The only thing is in your AWS account, sorry, in your Azure account, if you're creating a multiple resource group, then it needs to be unique. Otherwise, you can give any name to your resource. Let me give some name, but to my resource group is group-40. This is the name. And in which region I'm going to create? That particular region we have to select here. So these are the list of data centers we are able to see here. Now by default, it is taking Center India in my account. I'm going with Center India. You can select any of the region as per your local one, whichever is near to you, you can select that. Click on next. And here we are getting something called tags. What is these tags? We'll learn in upcoming session. Then click on next. And then click on create. Done. We are able to create our resource group, and you can see here I'm getting a notification. Whenever you're creating anything, you will get a notification. Whenever you're deleting anything, that time also you will get a notification. If you want to remove this notification, you can click on this X sign or click on dismiss all to remove that notification. It's not mandatory, but if you want, you can do that. Now click on refresh, and you can see here I'm able to see my resource. And if I open a resource group, under the resource group, if we have any resources, you can see here the name, the type, and the location. Here you can see different types you will see by using the type. Which type of resource you have created, you will see here. The name of the resource group, and it was in which location, that also you can see. So this is how you can create your resource group. Now again, I'm going to virtual machine. Now I'm selecting a resource group. See, here I'm able to see. I'm able to select my resource group. Now, anyone have any question related to this resource group? Please let me know, then we can move forward. Yes, you can.
So there are two ways to create a resource group, right? So one means, so while we create the virtual machine, we need to create a.
While creating a resource, that time also you can create, or directly you can create from a resource group.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, it's up
So
to
while
you.
we
There is
create the virtual
nothing
machine.
you can create anyway. There is nothing make any difference.
Okay, okay. So while we create the separately, the resource group, it asking the two types, right? So for resource group name and then the region. But while
Region,
we create,
because here, if you see here, the region is here also picking the one which is selected here. They'll pick the region from here.
okay,
The region is still there, but in virtual machine is there. So it will pick this region, whichever is selected here.
okay, okay,
So the region will be still there. Without region, you can't create resources. You have to select in which data center you are creating that specific resource.
so the resource group and the virtual machine, they should be in the same location, right?
It's 100 recommended also. You want to create a different location, you can create. That's what the point was there. The fourth point. Group can have resources from many different regions. Your resource group in different region, your virtual machine different region, it is possible. But recommended is your resource group and your resource needs to be in the same region. That's recommended, not
Okay, so in
mandatory.
this, okay, so in this scenario, we need to create a separate resource group and then we need to create a virtual machine.
Correct.
If
If
it
you
is,
want to create with separate, then yes. If you're creating in a same one, then directly you can create from here also.
okay, got it, Pranjit. Thank you.
Anyone have any more question? Okay. Now, the next thing what we have to do it is we have to give the name of our virtual machine because it is mandatory. So let me give the name win-vm-40. Done. And here you can see by default, they have selected a Central India region, which we are going to use. Now scroll down. So these are not mandatory fields, so I'm not going to discuss these fields right now. Availability zone, by default, they have selected what is availability zone. We'll discuss in upcoming session. It's a really important option we have. What is availability zones? We'll discuss later. This is mandatory, but by default, they have selected zone 1. That we'll discuss later. Now, in our journal language, we call it operating system. But in Azure, it is not called as operating system. What they call it? They call it as a image. They call it as a image. Okay, before moving forward, I'm enabling the chat box. You can send your answer in chat box, which is already enabled. Okay. Whenever a person is buying a computer, what are the basic thing the person is checking? Just send your answer in chat box. No need to raise your hand for these questions, guys. Whenever a person is buying a computer or laptop, what are the basic thing any person is checking? Basic. Don't go in much more depth. Chat box is enabled. Please send your answers in chat box. Correct. CPU, RAM, hard disk, operating system. These are the 4 basic thing any person is going to check whenever a person is buying a computer. Even it's not a technical person, but still some basic thing he's going to check. CPU, RAM, hard disk, and operating system. Same way, if I want to create a virtual machine, I need to see these 4 things also there. So the first thing is operating system, which in Azure it is called as image. So which image we are going to select? Windows. Now here I'm getting the list of images. It is just showing the top recommended one, but if you want to see all, you can click on see all images. Once you click on see all images, you will see all the images whichever we have in Azure to create a virtual machine. Now, once I click there, you'll move to marketplace. Here I'm getting. So they have more than 646 pages. We are getting it. So you can search also here. You want to put some filters or based on operating system, image type, security, you can search here. Now, we have showing recently used. For me, for you, it will showing you here. You are getting, so whichever you want to select, you can select. Like let me just go with, oh, sorry, not here. 2019, I'm selecting. And we are able to select our image. Now, second thing. Next thing is I need to go for CPU and RAM. I need to select CPU and RAM. Right now, this is just for practice purpose we are creating. We don't need much more CPU and RAM. We just need some basic requirement. So how much CPU? Let's example, just 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM is my requirement. In future, if I need to increase, I can increase anytime. And this is a very important responsibility of Azure admin person, where we have to increase our CPU RAM. We have to do how to do that. We'll learn in upcoming session. So scroll down. Here we have size. Here we are getting size. So under the size, they have already created some sizes for us. Now click on see all sizes. Under the sizes, they have mentioned it, different series, they have mentioned it. Under that particular series, they have mentioned in this particular type, how much CPU and how much of RAM we are getting. So just a basic one. If you go for more, you'll get more also. So different series they have created with more CPU and more GB of RAM. If you want, you can put a filter here. How much CPU and RAM you need, they will show you. You can't create your own size. Sizes are predefined given by the Azure to us. So whatever the size your requirement, you can select that particular size. And whatever the size you are going to select, for that particular size, they are giving you some additional storage. Like here we have a B1S, 1 CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and then 4 GB of storage they are giving. And this 4 GB of storage is an additional storage they are giving to us. This is additional storage they are giving. It's a temporary storage they are giving. We'll see once we connect to our machine, you will see that particular storage also there. Now, which one you have to select so you will not get a bill? In the yesterday session, we have seen one link. Let's open that link again. Here I'm getting virtual machine. Windows, B1S, B2 PTS, B2 ATS, B2. Only these three type you can, size you can select. Which one I'm selecting right now? B1S. So B1S is coming under your free tier. Dear image. So other than B1S, if you're selecting it, you will get a bill. So select the B1S and click on select. And with B1S, you will get 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM, and you will get 4 GB of additional storage. Select. Done. So we have selected CPU and RAM also now. Now, next thing is you have to give username and password. How you are going to connect to that machine? By giving a username and password. So here you have to give a username. It can be any username, but they have reserved some words. You can't use those words. Like a word called admin. You can see you can't use that. And in username, you can't use special character, just only characters you can, normal characters you can use, not special characters you can use. And minimum 1 to 20 characters long username you can use to give your username. And the password which you are going to set for your virtual machine, you have to follow these rules. Your password must at least 12 to 123 characters long. And out of 4 of the following things, you have to follow 3. 1 upper, 1 lower, number, and 1 special character you have to use. It is mandatory you have to use for 3 of the following things for your password. So I'm giving a username as Azure user. This word is not reserved, so I can use this username. And then here we have to give a password. So let me give the password. we are able to give the password for our virtual machine. Now, once we give the password, is our work is completed? No. Scroll down more. Here you can see here by default, they have enabled that particular port number for us called as RDP. Now, what is RDP? Remote Desktop Protocol. By default, that particular port is enabled. Now, why this port is enabled? Because it is mandatory. To connect to any Windows machine, it is mandatory to enable a RDP port number for your Windows machine. If you're not enabling that port number, you can't connect to this Windows machine from your laptop. From your local machine, you can't connect. Same way for Linux, SSH port is mandatory. For Windows, RDP port is mandatory. For Windows, RDP port is mandatory. For Linux, SSH port is mandatory. If you're not enabling this port number, you can't connect to that machine. And if you can't connect to that machine, there is no use of that machine. So it is mandatory. And I'm enabling the chat box again. Anyone knows the port number for RDP? Every port have a number also. Anyone knows that number? You can inform in the chat box if you know. Okay, correct. The answer is 3389. So this is the port number for RDP. And if you see here they have mentioned here 3389. So this is the port number for RDP, and which is by default enabled. Now let's see all the things we have given it. We have given subscription, we have given resource group name, we have given virtual machine name, then we have selected the image, and then we have selected the size B1S, where we'll get 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM, and we have given username, password, and then we have enabled the RDP. And here we have one more thing called licensing. If you have your own licensing, like right now I'm using a Windows server machine. Definitely to use Windows operating system, we need license. So is that cost including whatever they are showing me? This will be the estimate cost for create that machine for me. Whatever the cost is, it is including the licensing fees also. So whatever the bill they are showing us, that include the licensing fees. But if you have your own license, like might be some of the client have existing license, you can provide that particular license to Azure team, and then you can save 49% of your licensing fees. If you have it, you have to provide the details to them. But make sure those details are added under your subscription. It doesn't mean that you can check the checkbox and those details are not under your subscription. They are going to add those details. Then you will save some money. But I don't have it, so I don't want to check this checkbox. Now click on next. In next, here we are getting disk. Disk is like a hard disk size. Here we have disk size. What is the size they are giving by default to us? 127 GB. And which is by default they are giving to us, and which is minimum required to create a Windows virtual machine. Now, what is this OS disk? Like a C drive to us. Like in our machine, we have C drive, D drive, we have it. OS disk, C drive. This is OS disk we have, which is by default, they are giving us 127 GB for Windows virtual machine. So they are automatically selecting. We can keep as it is. If you want to give more size, you can give more size also. 128, 256, 512, 1 TB, 2 TB. You can increase the size. You want to give your customized size, you can do that also. But not for OS disk, for your data disk. What is data disk? We'll learn in upcoming session. So here with the help of this disk, they are giving that particular OS disk size to our virtual machine. And here we have some more tab: networking, management, monitoring, advanced tags. Regarding these tabs, we are going to discuss in our upcoming session, not right now. So directly click on review plus create. And once I click on review plus create, whatever the details we have given it, we are verifying those details. They are validating those details. Sometimes even your details are correct, they'll give you error also. It happens sometimes in Azure. So if might be happen with you, what you can do, just go back to any of the tab and then again click on review plus create. They will revalidate and then they will give you as validation passed. Rarely happens sometimes with us when you're trying to create a resource. And here they're showing how much you're going to charge me for 1 hour. Now click on create. Once I click on create, within few minutes, they are going to create our virtual machine. And once our virtual machine is ready, what we have to do, we have to learn how to connect to this particular virtual machine. But till that time they are creating our virtual machine, anyone have any question, please raise your hand. Yes, you can unmute.
And when we are working in an organization and being
Sorry. I'm not able to listen your first few points. Can you please repeat again?
yeah, what I'm saying is, in the real scenario, like we are working in an organization and being a Azure administrator, okay. So how the request will come? Like somebody will
A
ask us to,
ticket,
oh, okay, okay. The ticket
tickets.
will says that we have to create a VM, right? And
And
he's
under that,
asking,
they will give you the details, which size, what name you can give, because in organization, they were you following a naming convention. In which subscription, you will get each and every single detail under that ticket.
okay, so let's suppose the ticket says that the RAM should be 8 GB, right? And the virtual machine is created. So, like in future, like how or who will come to know that this 8 GB is less or more?
By using monitoring service. We have a monitoring service. With that, that's our part of the job to monitor it.
This is our job, right?
Yes, to monitor those resources.
Okay,
And
whether
then
we
we
have to
have
increase or
to
decrease.
talk with our managers, like this machine is getting going with this much of. So if you get approval, we can increase the size. That's our part of the job, to increase the size of CPU, RAM, or hard disk size. We'll learn how to do that also in upcoming session.
Okay, so we have to keep these tracks through the
Monitoring.
monitoring code.
That we have a
Okay.
service called monitoring. We can do that with that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, you can unmute.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My question is, are we going to get a working notes, like the step by step on how you created the
Here
Azure?
is this PPT.
Yes, sir. Can we? I just
Yes,
paid
you will
one.
get.
Okay, sir.
Whatever the steps I'm following, you're getting these PPTs. On daily basis, I'm going to upload these PPT in our website.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so our virtual machine is ready. Now click on go to resource. I can click on go to resource. I can directly go to my virtual machine, or I'm not going to click here. I'm just going to my home page. I can click here to my virtual machine. Here I can see the virtual machine, or I'm again going to home page. I'm going to click on resource group. I'm going to click on resource group. Here is my resource group. And there is one more resource group they have created automatically with the name called Network Watcher RG. What is this resource group? We are going to learn in our upcoming session. Right now, I'm not going to discuss about this resource group. We'll discuss once we come to network watcher service. Now, click on our group 401, which we have created. And here I'm able to see the resources which we have created. The name of our resources, and you can see different types. And here are in the location. Did we create all these resources? Public IP address, NSG, virtual network, network interface? No, by default, system is going to create whenever we are creating a virtual machine. Disk we have created. Here I'm getting a disk, OS disk. And here is our virtual machine. Now the next part, what we have to learn is how to connect to this machine. So click on the name of your virtual machine. And you have to note down this public IP address. Note down this public IP address. Now in our Windows machine, by default, we have something called remote desktop connection. Click here. Give the IP address here. Click on show options. Enter your username. Click on connect. Click on connect. Enter your password. And in our upcoming session, we are going to learn if we forget our password, how we can reset our password. We'll learn in upcoming session that also. Yeah. We are able to connect to our Windows virtual machine by using a tool called remote desktop connection. And this remote desktop connection tool is by default there in your Windows machine. Just search RE here. I'm getting. Now, when this is Windows machine, so Windows machine will take some time to load. Just wait for a few more seconds. Now go to this PC. So here I'm getting C drive, this PC. Under that, here I'm able to see OS disk, and here I'm able to see one temporary storage. What is the size of this temporary storage? 3.99 GB, the 4 GB which I was showing you. So this temporary storage we are getting based on the size I'm selecting. Whatever the size I'm going to select of the CPU and RAM, based on that size, they are giving some temporary storage, and that's temporary storage we are getting. And don't store any data in this temporary storage. You can see they have given one notepad also. It is clearly mentioned there also. don't store any data in this one. This is just a temporary storage they are giving, because whenever we are creating any machine, they were using the CPU for that caches. They are using the main storage, but they don't want that our main storage get used for that caches. So that's why Azure is giving some temporary storage to us, temporary disk. So under that they will use those caches. So our main storage is not going to use, for which we are actually paying to them. So that's why they have given it this temporary storage. This temporary storage, you can't increase it. Manually, you can't increase. Once you increase CPU and RAM, automatically this temporary storage size is also going to increase. This temporary storage size you can't give as per your own choice. This depend on your CPU and RAM. So this is how you can create your Windows virtual machine and connect to your Windows virtual machine. Now, any question anyone have, please let me know. Then I can show you how to delete these resources when you complete your practice. Okay. Now, there are two ways to delete resources. One way is you can delete these resources one by one. You can go to that specific resource, like I'm in my virtual machine. Here I have a delete option. This is what I have to do it one by one for all these 6 resources. This is one way. But it's a long process because I have to do one by one. The shortcut way is, for when you do complete your practice, is just delete this resource group. If you delete this resource group, whatever the resources are there in this resource group, they will delete all for us. So click on delete resource group, enter your resource group name, and click on delete, and then delete. And then you have to delete another resource group which they have created automatically, this one also. And one important point. Till that time you are not getting a proper notification deleted, like here we have a deployment notification. Till that time you are not getting a proper notification deleted, don't close your browser. If I close my browser right now, they will stop there. If they stop there, it means my resources are still there in my Azure account. So till that time you don't have a proper notification, don't close your browser. So make sure you delete your resource group once you complete your practice. Now, any question anyone have, please let me know, or we can end the session here now. Yes, you can unmute.
Hello.
Yes, you can ask your question.
Yeah. So as you have chosen to delete the resource group, so whatever 5 or 6 resources are there, okay, it got deleted. Okay.
Correct.
So yeah, is it possible, like any scenario in which, like, this is for one virtual machine and there were 6 resources, there might be a chance that we have created the second virtual machine and all the resources for those virtual machines are also in this virtual group, in
If
this
you delete a resource group, everything is going to delete. Whatever
so
you
for,
have in that resource. You have one resource, you have hundreds, or you have million resource. Everything is going to delete if you delete a resource group.
okay, for second virtual machine also it will be deleted.
I'm saying everything, Abdul.
Okay.
Everything. I'm
Hmm.
not specifying virtual machine. I'm saying everything. Under everything, all Azure services are coming, even which you are going to learn in upcoming session. Even I'm covering those also in this. Everything is going to delete if you delete a resource group.
Okay, so we have to be careful while creating a VM, that in which this resource group we have to keep our resources. We have to be very careful, right?
Definitely, yes. Okay.
Thank
And I'm again repeating, I'm not specifying virtual machine. I'm saying all resources. So it means if you're learning about in our upcoming session, other resources which is going to create under resource group, if you delete your resource group, those resources are also going to delete automatically. Okay. Is it clear, Abdul?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay. Anyone have any more question? Okay. Now you can see here, I got a proper notification deleted. Now it means I can close my browser. And if I close my browser, they are not going to do anything now because we have deleted everything now. Okay. No questions. So thank you all. Thank you for joining today's session. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you.